All right, hello everybody. So Ryan, happy Labor Day for those of you in the U.S. Happy September 1st for everyone else. I want to take some time to do a video on my new pedal board. Pretty excited about it. It's giving me some extra flexibility and extra tone options for my live playing. So first off, I want to give a shout out and thank you to my buddy Sam for helping me with the actual wood board part of it and the cover. That worked out really well and saved me a lot of money having him help me with that part of it. So thanks, Sam. He also has a YouTube channel. The link to that is down in the description, so check out his stuff as well. Little bit of backstory, extra information. I'm using a Peavey Viper Tube 60 as my main amp. It's a modeling amp with a tube power section, for those of you not familiar with the Viper. So it has all the different amp models and effects, stomp box stuff all built into it for modeling. And then if you have one of their Sampera pedals, you can use that to swap between the different presets when you're playing live. And the Sampera 2 actually lets you toggle in the different effects and the delay and the reverb while you're playing live. So I also utilize that. But there's no effects loop, and so if you wanted to add anything extra, you basically have to put it out in front. So for a long time, I was just running my wireless or a cable straight into the amp, and that was my signal chain. There was nothing else. Even my tuner, I would usually run that out of the auxiliary output on my wireless unit, so even the tuner wasn't in my signal chain at all. And I really liked that. It was really simple. There was basically nothing that could get messed up or add noise. But it was limited. I wanted to add some more stuff. So I figured if I'm going to add one thing out in front, it's going to be just as much work as adding a whole bunch of stuff. So I went ahead and I put together a plan for a pedal board of things that I would want to have out in front of my amp. Got all those ordered, put it all together, and then that's what you're about to see here. So I'll start at the beginning and kind of just go through the chain of what's on the board. So first thing is my Line 6 G50 from the Relay line of wireless. Been working pretty good, and I like the smaller size of it, so I can fit that right on the board there. I just detach the antennas when I pack up the board. So that runs straight into my Boss TU3 tuner. And I have the Boss positioned on the right side here, so that if I need to, I can just unhook the input jack on the right side, and then I can plug in with a traditional cable if my wireless were to die, or if I'm just using this, sitting around at a buddy's house or something like that where I don't necessarily need the wireless unit. I can plug in a regular cable without having to drastically change my chain. When I first put together the board, next I had a Boss the AC3, the acoustic simulator. I showed that a little bit on my demo video for this guitar, the Parker PDF 35, and that sat right here. But I didn't really like the sound of it at all in front of the amp. It really needs to be run straight into the PA with a DI, or it'd probably sound good straight into a second acoustic amp. But straight in front of the regular amp, it just didn't sound good. So I just took it out of the chain altogether. Eventually, I will probably put a small passive DI somewhere in this open area, and then I'll wire the AC3 back into there. So next in line is this new guy. This is the Electro-Harmonix B9 organ pedal, which is really cool. I think it just came out this summer. Not sure how it works, and part of me doesn't really care because it does work. But it basically lets you run your guitar straight into that, and it sounds just like an organ. There's no MIDI, there's no special pickups, no special processor. You just run straight into that, and it sounds awesome. There's 9 different presets. I'm using the classic rock preset, I think, right now, and that works for most of the stuff that I'm playing through there. Next in line, the TC Electronic Spark Mini Boost. I'm just using that for a lead boost when I'm playing through my crunch and dirty channels. For the band that I'm playing in right now, we run our own sound, or actually I run our own sound. And before, I was just doing sound exclusively for them, so I was able to ride the levels when people would lead. But now, since we're doing our own, I can't sit in the back and do that with the faders, so we each need to be able to boost ourselves up for a lead when we need to. So that's what I'm using that for. It's worked pretty well. So next is the MXR 6-band EQ. I'm using that just to get more of a Boston tone for actually one of the Boston songs that we play in the band. And I also play a lot of Boston just personally for fun. And that pedal really helps bring out that tone that he had. So after the EQ, I have two iStomps. I got both of these real cheap. I think they were like a stupid deal of the day on Musician's Friend or something like that. But these are just little extra pedals. And what's great about the iStomp is it can be just about any pedal you want it to be by downloading different pedals from their Stomp Shop app on your phone. So right now, the first one I have set up as just a nice chorus, and then the second one is a dual detune, kind of like a fattener effect, I guess, right now. And I really like the sound of those, so I'll probably leave them like that for a while. But like I said, I can swap those out. I can have one be an overdrive. I can make one a delay. I can make it basically whatever I want. So those are nice to have in there for extra flexibility if I need it. And at the very end of the chain, I have the Decimator 2 noise reduction pedal just to keep the pedal board quiet. Because you don't want a whole lot of extra hiss and noise and stuff like that. And it does a pretty good job. I haven't noticed any issues with it cutting off notes prematurely or robbing any of my tone. I've been pretty happy with that. Actually, one other note about the tuner, I always run it I run out of the bypass jack. So I leave it on all the time. So I just turn the volume pedal down on the Viper. Since that's, my master volume, I can turn that down, and then I can always have my tuner on, and I can see whether I'm in tune or not without having to switch it on or off. Works out pretty well. So first pedal, the B9 organ pedal. So since this works just like a regular guitar pedal, you can also run other things in front of it or behind it to change the sound. They really recommend putting it basically first in your signal chain so that it's getting the cleanest signal from your guitar that it can, so it can process that properly and really work how it's supposed to. So I have that basically straight after my tuner. But you can add a chorus after it. of the presets within the pedal itself actually have a chorus or a vibrato effect built into them, and then you can adjust that. But yeah, you can put other effects after it. You can also put overdrives after it. Again, highly want that after it, not in front of it. But you can get, some distorted organ effects, which is pretty cool. But yeah, a lot of fun can be had with that pedal. So next is the Spark Mini Boost. Again, that's just my lead boost. So it gives it a little extra volume. But with the distorted patches that I'm using, it doesn't make it a whole lot louder, but it does seem to kind of thicken it up, fatten it up a little bit, and it helps it sit on top of everything else, which is perfect for what I need it for. Next is the MXR EQ. So it just gives it that kind of mid-range tone that is kind of key to Boston. I'll also use that once in a while in front of my more high gain patches, just to kind of give it a different tone. I like blending that in once in a while. Helps different parts stick out more. So for other than Boston, I just use it for little accent parts basically. So next is one of the iStomps. This one I have set on just a chorus. And a lot of times I will actually blend that one with the doubler effect or the dual detune. It seems to kind of soften it up while at the same time making it even thicker. So then just the dual detune. So I think of it kind of like a chorus, just without the modulation. It's just a constant detune. And I also like using that one once in a while in front of some dirt. Like I used it recently for Call Me the Breeze. That's pretty much everything on the board. Again, I'm not really using a whole lot of stuff on at the same time. I'm not really layering a lot of these effects, given what I have on there. Usually it's just one at a time things that I'll add in, because I'm still using all the amp simulations and the effects in the Viper, and then I'm just using these ones on the board just to accent or, add little extra things that the amp can't necessarily do. And then at the end, again, just the decimator. Not really much to say on that. I just leave it on all the time, and it just cuts down on the extra hiss and noise that would come from all this extra cable and, having that much extra stuff plugged in. So there's with it off. There's with it on. Not a whole lot to it, just one knob, and it's pretty clean. I like it. So yeah, that's my new pedal board. I'm pretty excited about it. It's been a lot of fun picking out all these pedals, getting everything all set up, and then, of course, playing with it after it's all done. So if you guys have any questions on specific pedals or would like me to go into more detail on any of those, just let me know in the comments below, and I'll maybe put together a video on that specific one. Yeah, that's about it. Catch you guys next time.